Oncological Research Center, Madurai, Psycho-Oncological Association, Turkey. We welcome you all, the participants and resource persons of today, to today's session 331 on emotional intelligence. And today we have our dear Dr. Suresh Kumar sir and Dr. Salim sir on the topic emotional intelligence. As we all know, Dr. Suresh Kumar sir is the head of the department, American College, Madurai, and he is also the director of Red Pond Educational Psychological Research Center and Yellow Pond Counseling Center. And Dr. Salim sir is a consultant psychologist and HR consultant. Both of them are the founding members of the Tamil Nadu Career Counselors Association. They are specialized in career counseling, career assessment, career profiling, career training, and career research. We are very much happy to have you here, sir. Now the session is yours. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Chandra, for welcome and introducing the speakers of today's session. Today we are going to make it two presenters. One is myself and another one is by Dr. Salim Akbar. He is specialized in industrial component. I am specialized in general component. So we are going to share our experiences and the learning we made recently. And the today's topic is on the most sought topic among the different disciplines. When you take that academic and industrial sector and even IT sectors, you can see that the training on emotional management, emotional awareness, emotional intelligence are very predominantly, you can see. And most of the trainers are south on that particular topic. When you look at these information from the booming industries and multinational companies, they know that the importance of emotional intelligence. Just we are going to make a intro about emotional intelligence. So I think thank you, Dr. Chandra, for introducing us. And the pictures we taken from the different sources, and that is a disclaimer, I would like to say that. And we given that due importance, credit to that pictures. And if somewhere we miss out, and please let us know. Definitely we will give the credit to that authors. Yes, emotional intelligence has some two important terms. One is emotion. Emotion is nothing but it is our strong feeling. The feeling, for example, when you a day before yesterday and yesterday, you may had a pongal. Okay, rice pudding, the sweet rice pudding. When you eat, you had a feeling. Okay, it may give some of you feel more mesmerized and some of you feel different experiences, different feeling you had. So that we can say is an emotion. Okay, it may be a love. I think those were almost those are attending here. They may experience this emotion, the love, anger, fear. It may be anything that experiences what we are having. That is called emotion. Sir, over to you, sir. Salim, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh. It's a pleasure to be in this forum today. Just I want to add on that, I want to talk about intelligence. Intelligence is nothing but the ability to understand and learning the environment and thinking. All the things is called intelligence. You know very well it is measured by, it is said by IQ, intelligence quotient actually. So there is a lot of research happening in the field of intelligence, and in 1995, journalist called sir, what is the name of that? Daniel Goleman, 1995. He talked about the emotional intelligence. Actually, he is a journalist, and he is the only brought into the picture emotional intelligence into the world actually. So before 1990, nothing. Only IQ. After that, only EQ came. The thing is, he done one research, and it was said that who are having the high IQ, they are not performing the job or not, they are not performing the life. So what is the thing behind that? That's what his research actually. So in generally, intelligence is, for example, 10-year-old boy performing like a 15-year boy, his IQ is high. That's what IQ is measured actually. Okay, fine. So if he done one research, he collected the people of like high IQ people, and he measured all this IQ level, and he noticed that all are performing well in the academic and they are scoring high. And actually, they got the job also, but in fact, in the working place, they are failed in terms of promotions. They not get the promotions, and in family also they have a lot of problems. So in that, out of 100, almost 85% they failed in this same thing, and only 15% they had a high performance in the job promotions, and they have the high like relationship, well maintained relationship in the family. So he found out why this 15% of people succeeded out of 100. Then he found out they have the high emotional quotient, actually EQ. Their compared to IQ, their EQ also it was high.
Yes.
So he noticed that to succeed in the life, not only IQ is important, EQ also important. It's nothing but in other terms, emotional intelligence. So you will see one by one elaborate.
Yeah. Sir, I'm receiving message from that audience that your volume is very low. Okay. Yes, I move on to the second point. I think my co-presenter rightly pointed out that Dr. Salim sir, he said that why the importance was given to emotional intelligence rather than intelligence. The concept of intelligence was introduced in the year 1902 by Albert Binet. He is the father of intelligence, as we all know that. And the term intelligence ruled for 100 years. I can say 100 years they ruled. But now there are much focus is given to the emotional intelligence. And when you look at the theories of intelligence, as the one-factor theory, two-factor theory, multi-factor theory, group factor theory, structure of intellect, and Sternberg triarchic theory, and multiple intelligence. So all these theories are talking about the beginning. The theories focus on intelligence on core component. There are many subcomponents are there. But later there are two theories which were broken that notion we had already, that intelligence has different types of intelligence. We can musical intelligence, interpersonal, covert corners, multiple intelligence given a thought to the people. You cannot confine that only one intelligence. There are different types of intelligence. And emotion, even for the theory which was proposed by Covert Corner, not included emotional intelligence. And he said that which comes under intrapersonal intelligence. But when you look at that emotional intelligence, which was the inputs of three important persons, we are going to see those details in the coming slides. And yes, as rightly pointed out by that my co-presenter, that there are many people who are very successful. They are having high level of ability. They can perform better. But when it comes into that success rate, they are good. But when they comes into that management of people and interacting with others, they are very poor. And where this emotional intelligence plays an important role. There are many of the recruiters are now giving importance to emotional intelligence rather than intelligence. That's the concept that is there in most of the HR recruiters. They are giving focus on that. Okay, we'll come to the point. What do you mean by emotional intelligence? As we all know that, what is mean by emotion? What do you mean by intelligence? Emotional intelligence is nothing but our ability. What is the ability? We can able to identify what kind of emotions you are experiencing and what kind of emotions you are expressing to others. One is identifying, and second important component in emotional intelligence, whether you can able to manage the emotions, and these two comes under, we can call as an emotional intelligence. There are many perspectives are there, we will see. And even emotional intelligence for 2.0 versions also there. We will look at that in coming slides. Over to you for the next slide.
Emotionally intelligent, just I want to highlight about the point. For example, a kid, the kid wants to have some toys or something, and the kid is crying in front of the mother. So what happening? So mother actually, after the crying, listening the hearing, so mother is giving the toy to the kid. So what's happening in this scenario? The kid knows the kid want to express the emotions. So the kid knows the emotions will dominate mother. This is the thing. So we have to understand one thing. We can handle emotions, we can dominate emotions, and we can, what I can say, we can rule with emotions in the environment. So he should know, or he or she know how to express the emotion and how to understand his emotion as well as the environmental emotions. So, for example, how the kid succeeded with the expressing right way the emotions are in the same way in all the situations. For example, in the life is completely with the events only. We have a lot of events like sadness, angry, love, affection, lot of things. So all the events we are expressing emotions indirectly or indirectly. So if we know how to handle the emotions, we can succeed in that presence actually. So for that, Daniel is expressing there is a 5 strategy actually is telling how to handle the emotions. we will see one by one. Particularly, my co-founder present rightly said, we should know and we should know how to what we are, like self-awareness. We should know where we are, what community expressions we are expressing, emotions. Without knowing that emotions, expressions, we cannot control them. So, very beginning point is our self-awareness. Over to you, sir.
Yes. And here we can see, sir, please mute your yes, sir. Yes. Emotion intelligence that plays on in a way we can manage positive ways to relieve our stress, positive ways to communicate effectively, to empathize others, to overcome challenges in our life and diffuse conflict we are facing in our day-to-day life. So this one also comes under that shows that we are seeking for these components only. Every one of us, we are facing stress, and some of them, they are struggling to communicate effectively, and they don't understand what the feeling of others. They cannot able to empathize, and there are many challenges they are facing, how to overcome it, and in the conflict between and others. Okay, within and between these components, they need to understand that can be achieved through emotional intelligence. And just I'll move on to the next slide. What are the benefit out of we will get it from that practicing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence that builds stronger relationship. When you look at the person, if the person having that strong relationship, that means the person's emotional intelligence is high. And when you take out that students of school and colleges, and they are very good in school and colleges, I can say we thought that the person who was smart can hard worker can achieve the marks, but actually the smart workers can achieve. The smart workers nothing but they know the emotions of the teacher, when to approach a teacher. For example, if you want to get a more marks, and he must ask them whether the teacher is happy, then he will approach it. And even in the workplace also, you must know that when you go for approach your high superiors for your increment, and if you go in a wrong time, there is an fireback may happen. So these things we can get benefit out of if we develop that, if we have that emotional intelligence. And finally, we all having that our goal. Okay, we are running towards the goal. And the persons who are good in emotional intelligence, they achieve the personal goals at right time. So these were the benefit out of emotional intelligence. Next point to you.
Just I want to highlight one thing from the Mahabharata. We know all the events, everybody knows the event of Mahabharata. There's a fight between the cousins, Pandavas and Duryodhana. Just we have to find out the emotional, the way of emotional express and how it was brought and it was described the life of the Duryodhana. So we'll come to know. The Pandava palace, just Duryodhana, they want to visit the Pandava's palace. He entered the palace and he put in the leg in the floors and he was thinking that there is a water in front there. Just he took the footsteps and he moved away from the palace. Then realized that it is not a water, it is actually the marble. It's reflecting like a water. Then he thought, okay, just he moving further again like 20, 30 steps. And then again he's thinking that there's in front of the water. This time he realized that, okay, this is not the water, it's like marbles only, I can move. Then he put in the leg in front of that one. Actually, he fell down into the water. So he made a mistake. Then what happened the time? Sir, what is the name of that Duryodhana's Draupadi? Draupadi saw that event and she said Duryodhana's father was blind, so that's why he fell down like that. Something she teased actually. So Duryodhana listened that one. He took as he wanted to take a revenge, and the country is story is continuing, and it was affected completely Duryodhana's life. So we have to understand one thing: there is a misconception or misunderstanding between the event. So actually, for the careful, he confidently and want to carefully he want to enter into the palace, but due to that unjustification and he fell down the water. But Draupadi just he laughed and he said Duryodhana's father is blind, so Duryodhana also blind, something like that. So this is the thing. So we should know the there is a proverb, we should know to see the situation in other factors. This is the very important skill to handle the emotional intelligence. We should know our emotions and we the opponent emotion also. That means we got to stand in their shoes and the things. How it's better. Then we understand. So these skills are called emotional intelligence. John Mayer and Peter, there's two authors. They have introduced the theory of intelligence in 1990. But later on, only Daniel Kahneman in 1993 he brought into the picture for the success of life. The intelligence IQ is not enough and it's important. Then only it come into the world. So before that, John Mayer and Peter in 1990 itself, they put into the OT.
I think you connected with the story of Mahabharata, and yes, there are Daniel Goleman is known for emotional intelligence, and before that, Mayer and Salovey were founding father of emotional intelligence. They introduced the concept. And what is the other benefit we can get out of practicing emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence can help us to connect with our feelings. Okay, we experiencing different feelings, and when you ask yourself whether you are connected with your feelings, and if you introspect, and many of you may come to conclusion that yes, no, okay, it may be or in between. It is because the person, if you are having that adequate level of emotional intelligence, you can connect with your feelings. If not, you may not understand what kind of feeling you are experiencing. And another one is we all having that intention. Okay, we may have the thought, but how many of us we are converting the thought into actions? And these persons, emotional intelligent person, they will convert that thought into actions, and they will make that informed decisions. And it is very important. It is very good for them. They will make an informed decision that will be lead success in their life. Sir, next. What is?
For the handling the emotional intelligence, there are the three skills is important. One is self-awareness, and another one is ability to harness those emotions, and the third one is manage emotions. Firstly, for example, I want to say, put into the situations. For example, you are working in the office, your boss is coming, he is giving the one project to you, and you have to complete the project within the time. Fortunately, unfortunately, you are not able to complete that project. Then you are returning to your boss, and he is shouting to you because you are delayed that project. In the situations, you are coming and you are sitting to your places. That time your colleague or your friend is coming and he is talking to you. What he will do? He will express whatever your boss shouted to you. He will completely collect and dump it to your friend your face, isn't it? That's called it's went out effect. So what is happening? You are just collecting everything, whatever you got it from the boss emotions, you are reflecting that to your. So this went out effect, what's happening really? You are spoiling the next atmosphere, you are spoiling your friend, you are spoiling case, and as well as it will not solve your problem also. So this is not a right way. It will aggravate the situations in fact actually. So because what for this? Why it's happening? It's because of without this awareness. So probably.
Sir, can you please increase your volume, sir? Can you please make your mic close to your mouth? Because many of them are saying that they cannot able to hear you.
Just a minute. Now it's okay, sir. Fine, sir. Yeah. So what's happening? You are venting out to your friend that will aggravate your collapsing your friend's mood, and as well as it will not solve your problem also. So what you have to do, you have to analyze yourself and you have to aware what's happening and what's boss mood also. This is a very important thing. It's called awareness, self-awareness as well as the environmental awareness. So you should know to handle the environment, you should know what's emotions you are expressing and what's emotions your surroundings, like people who are around you expressing. So this is the first skill. Second skill, the ability to harness the emotions and apply to the task like thinking. So you have to think what's happening why the bosses are probably he might have this pressure or something, so it reflected to you. So you have to understand this thing. There is the ability to manage emotion. You have to manage how you can manage. You can instead of shouting or venting out to your friend, you can tell politely, I have some problem, I couldn't able to complete, the boss shouted to me, so I cannot come, or this is my situation, and then I will join you later, whatever. This is the managing situation. Instead of managing the situation, you are venting out, nothing will happen. So these are the three skills important to manage the emotions.
Yes, sir. I think the very three key important skills we need to develop on emotional intelligence, and later we can see there are inputs given by, as we said, Mayer and Salovey, Daniel Goleman, and Greaves. Also, we'll look at that in the coming slides. And I would like to add one more point here. The concept of emotional intelligence, sometimes it is called emotional quotient. Why they are calling emotional quotient? There are a term we all know, that intelligent quotient. Okay, IQ, MA by CA into 100. Okay, mental age divided by chronological age in 100. That is a formula given by William Stern. But the IQ was coined by Terman. William Stern coined the term IQ, but the formula was given by Terman. But here there are equivalent to that. IQ was made in that what they have done, that instead of calculating IQ score, here we can calculate the EQ score. When you know about your emotional quotient, and that will help mostly it is for measurement level, it is very important. When the person looking for a better person for the company, for any kind of places, and if they know that a person having the better emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, they will perform better. And the success rate also increased in that place where they are fit into that. So that's why many of the organizations, they are looking for a person having that high level of EQ score rather than IQ score. So nowadays I can say there are huge importance was given to the term EQ rather than IQ. Yes, sir.
The people with the high EI, emotional intelligence, would solve a variety of emotion-related problems accurately and quickly. Because why they are doing that? Because they know how to manage the situations, and this is giving the better results. And for example, in the company, my co-presenter rightly said, they are doing the evaluations, not only personality traits, emotional EQ also they are having some tests and to evaluate themselves. Because in the companies, you should know, like take example for this pandemic, we never knows the situations. So due to this pandemics and all, we have to handle the situations environment, and at the same time we have to give the better performance. So to understand the surroundings, emotional intelligence is very well great. So people always having the high emotional intelligence, they are actually solving their problems. There is a cognitive, like solving logical thinking, solving problems. So all those things are they can do with the people only who can manage mostly with the 5 strategies, like Daniel said, like self-awareness and understanding surroundings and social skills and lot. We will see one by one next slides.
Yes, sir. When we look at that, there are many studies were conducted on emotional intelligence, and recently there were studies conducted. What they found that the most of the employees, okay, they incorporated the importance of emotional intelligence in the testing component. For example, I'm the person, I'm going to, okay, maybe it's small, large, or multinational company. Wherever I go, I will be screened. Okay, they will check my ability, my achievement score, and 60% and above only they will call for interview, and they will give an aptitude test. And later the personal interview will be there. There they will test. They will come to know about what is our personality and other components. But now, earlier times they were not there. There is no much importance was given to that emotional intelligence. But now all the recruiting agencies, all the institutions are giving importance to that emotional intelligence. And these studies were proven that this is one of the quality we can see. The organizations are looking for the persons who are applied for the posting, because when they are looking for leadership, and they are good for co-workers also. When we all know that there is a conflict in an organization, there won't be any smooth conduct in that organization. Okay, there won't be any progress in that organization if it is in conflict, because they need to resolve the conflict. But those persons having that high level of emotional intelligence, they understand others and they react and they behave in a way. So there won't be any conflict, and that will lead to better achievement in the organization. That's why most of the organizations are looking for, they are including emotional intelligence as one of the important component for identification. Yes, sir. Unmute. And
some research articles, some studies have found that there is a direct link, a positive or a direct link between emotional intelligence and job performance. It is very, very true, because in the job, actually, we are dealing with the human. So if you are dealing with the human is not like a machine. They don't have, they are having the two brains, like feeling brain, of course, and thinking brain. So if they have the 50-50, I can say, feeling brain and thinking brain, definitely they will express, the people express both way in the job. Actually, they will vent out emotions and they will express their intelligence. So in the scenario, actually, everybody directly or indirectly, they are expressing emotions, will affect their job performance. So all those things are happening, and it's affecting companies' performance or individual people's performance. So nowadays, the companies, they are having the tests called the emotional intelligence test. How it is directly linked. For example, boss is allocating some job to you, and you are performing that job. Somehow you are not able to complete, or some urgent work given by some cross-functional manager. You could not avoid that one. So what you will do? Either you have to tell your cross-functional manager to, sir, I have some other work allocated by my direct boss, I cannot do. Or you have to tell your direct boss, sir, due to some management urgency, my cross-functional manager has some urgent work, I will do it later. So these are things you have to handle it. But if you are not able to handle the situation, you cannot perform. So the place is in the company, the job, and we are not going to deal with the machineries. We are going to deal with the human brain. We are going to deal with the human. So the brain is full of feeling brain and thinking brain. So we have to we have to give the 50% importance to the emotional behavior of the people. Otherwise, we cannot perform in the team. For you want to be the team player, or we are getting work out of work done from the other, like a supervisor or boss. We want to become a leader. We have to think, and we have to we know how to get the work done from the people with the help of the emotional intelligence.
yes. So still there is a message is coming, and your voice is very low, and try to fix it, sir. And then another thing is, when we know that we given input regarding what is emotional intelligence, but we must understand that what is not intelligence, emotional intelligence. And when we know these things, we will get a clarity about emotional intelligence. And the authors were they said very in a different forum that even well-educated people, those are in the practice, they are misunderstood that concept of emotional intelligence. Okay, what is that? Many of them thinking that it is a personality trait. Emotional intelligence is not a personality trait. That is the point they try to explain here. And here you can see what is not emotional intelligence. So here they mentioned that, as I said, we all know the Big Five personality theory. Okay, it says the different components: ocean, okay, openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. So these were the five personality traits. And here, see, there are many people, they're confused with that emotional intelligence component with that personality traits. What are the things that were confused? Which is not of emotional intelligence, but which were thought of emotional intelligence. For example, agreeableness, optimism, happiness, calmness, and motivation. These are the different components which is a part and parcel of emotional intelligence, which is not a only thing for we can say that the person is having that high level of emotional intelligence. Sir, over to you.
There is a thin line only between the personality trait and the emotional intelligent skills, actually, ability. Almost it will look like emotional intelligence ability or skill, whatever. It almost look like our personality trait. Suresh rightly said there is a different personality trait is different, and our emotional intelligence ability is different. because emotional intelligence ability will it should not be the same of our personality. Personality may be the different. Our personality may be the like happiness people, calmness people, optimistic, or whatever, motivated. So these are the personality types. But there is a only thin line. It dividing the emotional intelligent skill and our personality traits. So we have to understand this thing. And John D. Mayer rightly find out, and he only said there is a thin line. It's dividing into the personality trait and emotional intelligence ability. It's not the same. That's what is John Mayer's opinion.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes. And in continuation with the previous one, why he said that statement? The reason is he found that there are many trained psychologists who were confused with the term emotional intelligence with personal qualities. And we are all having the personal qualities. And the research is recommended in that the article which was published in that American Psychologist. What they found that when you look at here, what is the main thing is that we are having the different subcomponents, and these subcomponents a part of emotional intelligence. And many people, they are taught that these subcomponents, sub-elements become an emotional intelligence. For example, the word, actually what he said that groups of widely studied personality traits, including motives such as the need for achievement, self-regulated concepts such as self-control, emotional traits such as happiness, social traits such as assertiveness, these things called as an emotional intelligence. Rather than they are mixed up with that concept of the personal quality into that emotional intelligence. That is the thing they said that don't confuse these things. Even well-educated people also doing this kind of mistakes. And when we aware about these things, I can say there are three theories are there very important to understand this emotional intelligence. And just we are going to give inputs on those. I think before that we'll see that some of the important characters of emotional intelligence. First, sir.
There is some characteristics for the emotional intelligence, because as I said earlier, and the kid is crying for the toys, and after crying, kid got the toys. Okay, so in the scenario, how the emotions are worked out, emotions get some set of characters. So that character is the behind one to get the things out from the mother, isn't it? So some character is there. According to success.com, so this article, Rebel Power 2017, he identified 7 qualities describe the person with a high. We will see one by one.
And the first one is about the change. Okay, when you look at that emotional intelligence people, they are not afraid of change. They know that we all know that here the candle, and we know the light bulb, tungstens, and what we can say LCD. Now we are having LED. So there is a change is happening everywhere. And one of the important quality of the persons who are highly emotional intelligence is they are not afraid to change. Wherever possible, they try to change. And not only that, they understand that it is an important component and important parts of our life. And another quality we can see that highly emotional intelligent people, they're quick to adapt to the new environment. And I can say that when computer was introduced in banking sector, there are many people, they struggled a lot to adapt to the new component, but there are some of them were quickly adapted and they survived and they moved forward in that ladder of promotions. So emotional intelligent people are very quick to understand, very quick to adapt to the new environment, and they open to change the new environment. So this was the point they identified. One among the 7. This is the another one point. So second one is what is that?
And second one important one is self-awareness. Sir, I switch off the video due to that internet poor connectivity. Probably now we can hear the voice very well. So self-awareness is the number one first qualities, skill or ability to having the 100% of EQ. If you are having the self-awareness, we can next level we can go. Without the first step self-awareness, we cannot go to the personal people relations or like neutralization or whatever. So self-awareness is the very first skill or ability. What is that self-awareness? They know the self-awareness people, they know what they are good at. what they can work, and what kind of environment suit them. We should know when we will be happy and when we are getting sad, because everybody can come across in the life. Somebody says, I am sad, I am not in the good mood, I don't know why. I am happy, but I don't know why. These are things we can hear in our day-to-day life. And so those people actually have doesn't have the good EQ skill. We should know what are the things affect and when will our mood swing will happen. If we know the better, then we can handle the situations. So we should know our sad things, emotions. We should know the anger emotions. We should know when we'll get irritated, when somebody is triggered, and when we'll get irritated, all those things. And when we'll be happy. If we
Yes.
know positive and negative emotions, we are very aware of ourselves. Without self-awareness, we cannot handle the issue.
Yeah, sir, and still there are a few more inputs from the participants saying that when you present, please keep your mic very close to your mouth, sir. Yes, sir. There are still they are saying that your voice is low. Can you someone please let me know whether my voice is also low, or can you able to?
No, sir, they are able to hear your voice. Probably I request all other participants to please switch off their video.
Okay.
Yes. Participants, other participants, please kindly switch off your videos.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Veena. And third important thing what they found by the author is that the emotional intelligence people are more empathetic in nature, and they are empathetic means understanding from my perspective. For example, if I'm having some feeling and they are observing me, and they have to understand from my perspective, that we can say empathy. And we had one of the example in our session itself by Raghuram. He's a psychiatric social worker doing his PhD at NIMANS. He said that, for easiest example, when I take tamarind or lime juice, when I take lime in my mouth, you must get that watering in your mouth. So that is called empathy. So empathy, for easiest example, he gave it in our webinar session only. I felt it is a very good example for understanding the concept. Okay, and another thing we can see that they can easily relate with others, and I can say this is the quality I need to develop. But there are some of my colleagues, they are very good at it. When someone is there and they may not aware about it, they are easily mingle with them, and they will know that okay, they can relate. Okay, my color and your color are the same, and we are having same kind of thing, and they will relate with that, and then they continue their conversation, and they will become very thick. But we struggled a lot in the beginning itself how to begin our conversation. So and we will they have that ability when they were empathetic, they understand that what kind of thinking or what kind of emotion or what kind of things they are experiencing, going through, we can able to understand. So this is another quality we can see with the post for having high level of emotional intelligence. So
and next quality is committed. Commitment is very important qualities. Without commitment or without agreeing, so we cannot having the good personal relations with it. We cannot having the good rapport. We cannot having the task, actually we cannot perform. It's commitment is non-verbal agreement, I can say. So we are not performing or fulfilling that agreement, the personal relationship will spoil. So
yes,
to deal with the people, deal with the emotional people, are handling the feeling type of behavior, and we should know the commitment, how it will work. And once we committed, we have to perform. Suppose due to some situations we are not able to commit, so we have to express in such a way that the people should understand our scenario. The same way, one person who in the high EQ, she should have this, as rightly said, empathy. We should know why the person should not do that one. We have to think in their shoes. It's called empathy. We have to think in their angle, like the umpire. In the chess, we know the players A and B are playing. So A know where B is doing mistake, and same way B knows where A is doing a mistake. But A, he never knows where he is doing the mistake. Only the umpire outside, he can, he only knows the individual players where they are committing their mistakes, actually. So we have to think in business. There is a term called business is owner is separate and business is separate. In the same way, we are separate, our emotion is actually separate. So we should we evaluate our emotions actually. So we are not mixing with ourselves with emotions. We cannot come out, we cannot manage actually. So how the accountant, they segregating the firm into different way. Investor is separate and owner is separate and business is separate. In the same way, we are separate, our emotions are separate. Over to you, sir.
And another important quality which was found by that author is that emotionally intelligent people are more balanced and they can able to have a healthy professional and personal life. And you all know that work-life balance and life balance, how to give importance to the family members and friends. So these kind of awareness will be very high among the people with that high level of emotional intelligence. Yes, sir. What is it?
Open-minded people always will be succeeding, and the only thing is we are closing with walls. Actually, we are putting our big walls around us, and it's a big barrier for we are not getting success. Actually, we are open-minded people, so we can move with the people. We can talk to the high-level people. We talk to the low-level people. So whatever. So to get succeeded. There is a story, I forgot it, and there's a person and he is performing well actually, but the teacher is evaluating him as you are not a good student and reporting going to the principal. Principal is telling you are not a good student, you are not performing well. He said, no, I am performing well. Okay, if you are doing like that, we will be throwing out from the school and he cannot do what he will do. Nobody will give the jobs. He said, who is giving the job without me? So if anything to do means I have to do. This is the where the very big word is open mind. See, the barrier is actually not around us. The barrier is ours. If we are open minded, if we are not having any barriers, we can succeed in things. So nobody is actually blocking. Nobody is obstacles for us. The only obstacle is ourselves. We should be the open minded. And nobody is telling, suppose if you want to take some challenging task or challenging issues or whatever, the only barrier is our fear. We are not going to the comfort zone.
Yep.
So we are putting some barriers. We should be the open-minded to break the barriers, to come out from the comfort zone, to understand another person's like emotions or environmental emotions, whatever it may be. So always be the open-minded. This is a very important skill to manage the emotionally.
And another important point we can say, and the emotional intelligent people are more curious, gracious, and grateful and happy in nature. And as I said, it is the only trait of the person emotional intelligence, one of the important component, but which is not a fully. But when we can see these qualities, a person with a high level of emotional intelligence, they are more grateful and they are more happy in nature. They are more gracious in nature, and these were the points we can see. And another thing, as we said that these were the inputs given by the research of success, the founder of that website. And here another qualities we found that the signs or the traits or qualities of a high level of emotional intelligent person. And just we will quickly run through that qualities, which were repeated earlier also. And they have a healthy work-life balance, which were discussed earlier also. They know that when to work and when to play. So these are quality. Just I will run through that for high level of emotional intelligent people. And they have that lesser like a focus and they will not distract easily. And they will not get distracted easily. We know that some people are easily distracted with any kind of something, but emotional intelligent people, they will not distracted. They are more mindful in their activity, and they are easy going and go with the flow. And if they are having their idea, just the flow is one of the important component in positive psychology. And Miguel, he is the person who given inputs on these things. He explained the concept why we have to be there. And as we were, this likely Dr. Salim sir also said, they're open-minded and they're amenable for new ideas, amenable to new ideas. They accept the new ideas and they're big to God with that because they know that when to open up and when to, they are very good in understanding the nature. Okay, these things should be set. These are my boundaries. Okay, this should not be informed to this person, and this kind of clarity will be there with a high level of intelligent person, and they know that what is their strength and what is their weakness, and with that strength and weakness they will move forward, and these things we can see, and they are having that true sense of empathy, and they allow them to relate with the other people. We are human beings, are social animals. They relate to other people and they show the compassion in their life, and they are inquisitive and they are curious in nature, and they are interested towards the people, and they are always looking ahead and focusing on how to move forward, and they forgive and easily and don't dwell on the mistake which you have done. They never hold on grudges. But that means someone who hurted you, they will not keep these things, and these were the qualities we can see. High level of emotional intelligent people. So what if for low level of emotional intelligent people?
So lastly, Suresh sir explained the high level people, what are the qualities they have. So now we'll see what are the low emotional intelligence signs, how the people will be. The emotional low EQ people, how they will be, how they will express, and what is the personality trait, what we'll see. See, those people, they are not able to control their emotions. They will vent out easily. Just they will reflect whatever they are getting from the inputs, and they want to express completely 100%. So that is called vent out effect. So vent out effect, it will not work out. It will not control the situations. So low emotional EQ people, they will always be the vent out type of people. And second, they are clueless about the feeling of others. They cannot realize the people who are dealing with. They cannot understand their feelings, and they cannot be able to close with them. Always, of course, I am not talking about introvert, but whatever be the personality, right? The people who are with low EQ, they will not mingle with the people. They will not close with the people. And third one is they cannot maintain good relationship, whether work or even a family also, because they have a lot of barriers, and always they are thinking something, and they cannot visualize other person's view, expression, scenario, whatever will be. So they will not maintain the good relation. And another one is they always have a poker face, because meaning it has actually hard time reading them, so they cannot be able to do it, and they're often emotionally inappropriate for the situation. It's a very important thing, and they have trouble coping with the sadness. If whenever we can see nowadays also, if somebody is having the sadness, anything created sadness, what they will do, they will just watch the like sad songs or whatever, and they will express. They put in the WhatsApp or Facebook status about sad thing. So if they are doing the sadness, expressing again with the sadness, and it will not solve their sadness. It will again aggravate it. So it will create the trouble. So the people with the sign of low EQ, they will not be able to cope up with the sadness, and they are emotionally tone deaf, and having the trouble with the emotion from tone of voice, and they have the trouble being sympathetic with others, because we know empathy is we have to understand other person's scenario, and the sympathy is we get to express the feeling of others' sadness. So these people, they will not having the problem of sympathy with others. They cannot do. If suppose somebody is sadness, they cannot be the sympathetic person. They have no volume control, and they are completely unmoved by emotional scenes in movies. They are not average of our dogs' emotions. So these are the low EQ people's quality or traits. Sir, what do you?
Thank you, sir, and thank you. Now you got a clarity about that. And the traits and qualities of a high level of emotional intelligent people and low level of emotional intelligent people. Now we are moving into the key research which was done in that field of emotional intelligence. So one is about, there are three persons. One is Peter, Salovey and Mayers, and Daniel Goleman, and finally we can say Travis Bradberry as well as Greaves. So these were the three theories which given understanding and clarity about the concept of emotional intelligence. And the first work, as we given in the beginning itself, when we were defining the term emotional intelligence, Peter Salovey, and he worked along with his colleague, name is John Mayer. So what they have done, they were formally developed, and they proposed the theory on emotional intelligence in the year 1990s. Okay, 1990, they proposed the theory and they wrote in the 2 articles the term emotional intelligence. And according to them, sir, over to you. Salim, sir? Okay. For example, in IQ, the term was coined by William Stern and the formula was given by Terman. But what we can say, the father of intelligence is an Albert Wiener here, and they coined the term intelligence. But the more important contributions we received from the Daniel Goleman only, but they coined the term emotional intelligence. According to them, what is the meaning of emotional intelligence? Emotional is nothing but the ability to recognize, understand, utilize and regulate emotions effectively in everyday life. Very, very, very crystal clearly they define the term emotional intelligence. One is, it is our ability. For example, if I'm a highly emotional intelligent person, it is my ability to recognize what I have to recognize. What is my emotions? Okay, what are my emotions? And I have to understand what is good, what is not good. And I have to utilize that emotions in appropriate time. And I have to regulate, okay, this kind of level of emotions I have to exhibit here. That based on the environment, as Salim said in the beginning itself. Okay, environment, that also plays important role. We have to effectively express these things in our daily life, not only on occasionally. If you do occasionally, you are not comes under the category of emotional intelligent person. In every day, if you do these things, they define the emotional intelligence. And we all know that it is a work many after their inputs regarding emotional intelligence, this term was explosion, like it's like explosion. The interest towards studying, the interest among the researchers to explore the term emotional intelligence is very common among the researchers. And not only that academic field, but also in general public also, they want curious to know that, okay, what is the benefit out of it and how I can develop these things. And there are many, they want to know that what kind of emotions is there, and different sources they try to explore. Okay, from that book studies and researches, and we can see that they were the important persons who made an way to that emotional intelligence studies. And second, the studies about Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman, as I said, is very popular, and the term which is known to many people because of him. Daniel Goleman is a person who is instrumental, I can say, even though the term was coined by Meyer and Salovey, but he is the person who were familiarize the topic to general public, how he done those things, what he has done these things. He wrote in a book. He wrote a book, and the book was very popular under the term emotional intelligence, 1995, and it helped. His book only made an influence on the academicians to include the term emotional intelligence in academic streams. In almost all the education institutions, they try to give importance to the term emotional intelligence. And if you look at that, Goleman saw emotional intelligence as a vital factor for what? For our success. For our many, we as a parent, we thought we would like to have our children successfully in their life. So these things will emotional intelligence will make them more successful. And he believed it is one of the important factors for success. We all know that there are many factors that lead to success, and main factor is an emotional intelligence that was identified by Goleman. And he proposed that promoting social and emotional learning, and emotional learning, that will boost emotional intelligence among the kids. And not only for that, and directly or indirectly, it will help the person to perform better in their learning abilities. And someone is poor in or average in learning components, and they were good in emotional learning, they move forward better. And these emotional intelligence help the person to succeed in schools, to be successful in school, and it reduces that elimination of the distractions. Okay, when I'm focused about, when I'm confident, when I'm good in emotional intelligence, I will not having any distractions. Attention deficit will not be there, and there won't be any behavioral, unwanted, deviant behavior will be exhibited by them. The harmful behavior problem we cannot see in a person. He himself said in that, and he said that his proposal is that widely accepted by a research community like that the other person. Here also general public also very curious to know. And these emotional intelligence very important, and different levels, different stakeholders would like to take up this emotional intelligence. And he said that a person's success is not merely depending on IQ score. That was the notion earlier here, but he's the one who broke the notion that success of a person depends on emotional intelligence, not with that intelligent quotient. Again, we can see that there are many people are working on emotional intelligence. Overall, the schools, educators, and education researchers, they are they welcome this idea which was proposed by Daniel Goleman. Emotional intelligence is not a generally generic term. We cannot say that is a small term and it can you have it or you don't have it. But for example, some people it is for example, some people by naturally they may have this emotional intelligence. If not, no issues. This can be learned because it is a skill. Emotional intelligence is a skill. It can be learned. It can be improved upon, and it can be improved. So that was the statement they said that. And finally, we will say that the third theory is talking about Travis Bradberry and Greaves. Travis Bradberry and they're given the topic on emotional intelligence 2.0. I think we all know that Yendiran and Robo. And Yendiran and Robo, these were the updated versions. And when you look at that Android now it is on 10 or 11 is there. And every version having the person. Here he's the person. He modified and who come up with many important actually. What he has done, he taken that emotional, the Daniel Goleman theory, and he come up with that. He updated the versions, and he come up with a program called there is a step-by-step program that will help the person to how to develop emotional intelligence. They proposed 66 strategies, evidence-based strategies. Evidence-based means they applied these strategies in different settings, and they found that these strategies were effective. Okay, and in that way, they found 66 components. What they done? What they done in that strategy, the main ultimate aim of these 66 strategies to create an self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So these were the core components of the theory prepared by Emotional Intelligence 2.0, that is Bradberry and Greaves. And they claim that when they wrote a book and they sent a book to that for getting a review from the Dalai Lama himself appreciated and it gives an clarity about understanding the concept emotion, about the self and others. And many people they are good at understanding others' emotions and they fail to understand their emotions. And these things we can see. And it was proven that the conducting that experimental study pre and post test. And they proved by that test. And these were the elements. I think he said that there are 5 core elements are there according to Daniel Goleman: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And I think we are running out of time. We stop here. We will have that the strategies and explanation of these theories in coming next presentation. And thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, and you can try to answer your questions. Bina, over to you.
Thank you so much, Suresh sir and Salim sir. That was very interesting and very, as you said, emotional intelligence is something that is like trending in the recent days. Even the recruiters are most emphasizing on the emotional intelligence of the people who are seeking the job. And definitely this will be very helpful for future research purpose and also to do a lot of studies in Indian perspective as well. Thank you so much. And participants, if you have any queries, kindly put in the chat box or you could unmute yourself and ask the question.
I can read a few feedback and thank you for the good session. Thank you so much. And I think we were clearly explained the concept, the first base only. It is about understanding that emotional intelligence and theories which were proposed, and the next stage you will come up with that, and that the strategy which was proposed by, yes, how we can measure EQ. Sir, there are two instruments are there. Okay. So one is about based on the theory proposed by Mayes and Salovey. There is one psychometric test is available. There is another test is available based on the Daniel Goleman's 5 core element. Okay. When you know about that self-awareness, motivation, empathy, social skills, then we can able to understand one's emotional intelligence. And yes, there are many tests available. Daniel Goleman emotional intelligence test is very popular than any other test, as per my understanding as of now. And even I too developed one instrument for measuring emotional intelligence. But I try to convert this like IQ like formula, but I couldn't find any formula for EQ. But we have to work on it because we are having that a model for IQ. Definitely, we can by using as an analog, we can able to create this one also. If we are having enough time and if someone is directed us, definitely we will reach that point. Yes.
Yes. So before someone asks a question, I have a question for you. I mean,
Yes.
there have been studies which showed that most of the intelligence comes from maternal side, with the genetic lining and all those things. So what about the emotional part, emotional intelligence? Are there any studies to prove that most of the emotional intelligence comes from your maternal genes also?
Yeah, it is a very intellectual, diligent question, I can say, Dr. Veena. In that, in my presentation itself, I said, even the Daniel Goleman, he rightly said, even if you possess or not, it is a skill, it can be developed. So that is the one point he said. If it is come from your, if your question is whether from your father or mother, I can say 50-50% only. Because X chromosome and Y chromosome, we all know that. And another XX from your mother only. 50-50, definitely it will from father and mother only. But there were studies were saying that the claim is made that intelligence is from mother. I too agree because they proven scientifically, but I'm not having any scientific evidence as of now. But based on the logical component, I can say it is from both father and mother. And finally, it is a skill, it can be developed.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I hope those are the questions because Tamil Servant sir is asking for books on emotional intelligence. If you could share it in the WhatsApp group.
Sure. Then
Definitely, sir.
we'll do share that presentation once after completing the second part of our component, which is talking about the strategies, how we can use those strategies for developing our emotional intelligence.
Sure, sir.
Salim sir, our final words for today's presentation, and then we'll go for concluding the session, sir.
To ask a question. Good evening.
Yes, sir. No. Yes, Miss Sir.
Sir, wonderful. Thank you for a wonderful presentation, sir. So
Thank
my
you.
question is, what about collective consciousness? And like for example, a satsang or a spiritual congregation where there is an emotion of laughter. Like we say, laughter. It rubs on to people. So sometimes, I mean, how we also, imbibe certain emotions, and what happens to that? So is there another level of consciousness working at the level of emotions also apart from the intelligence part?
Yeah, again, it is a sensible question, I can say. You connected with one is about collective consciousness. And when Carl Jung, when he broke with Sigmund Freud, he is a colleague, and they were working on that theory. And Sigmund Freud was emphasized on mostly on unconscious, which is a determinant for one's personality, all kind of personal problem. That is the point he said, that most of the childhood experiences. And he emphasizes on sex. Sex is a primary cause for any kind of problem later stages. He come out from that, he introduced the concept collective consciousness, collective unconscious. So these terms were introduced by Carl Jung only. And I can say what you said, that in a spiritual setting, and many people, their kind of emotional expressions will be there. When we observe, definitely that has an impact. And I can say one thing, and there are studies that proven that belief system, I think most of the studies were stay away from that, going and interfering with the belief system. And there are even that, I think Dr. Srinivasan sir here is a renowned psychiatrist, and he may agree with me that, he also agree with me that belief system is totally different, and that there are studies are going on. When you look at that emotional intelligence, which is studied in the term was introduced in the 1990, 30 years back, only 3 decades. And look at the other terms, which were introduced more than 15 decades. And which is, there are more studies were done on those components, and I hope, and the point you have said, maybe done more research on that, and then we come to know that what kind of connections is there. And I think this is my input for your questions. But for emotional learning through group, yes, that is impossible. For example, my understanding, my perception, my belief system, accept that in a group setting, then I will take it. And on the other hand, I can see the adjacent person, if he is not agree with that, the concept, and he will not develop that particular emotions. So this is a answer for your question. I hope I given the answer. And
thank you so much, sir.
yes.
But a wonderful discussion, actually. I mean, from Veena ma'am, we've started on to another trail of thought. I'm now wondering whether emotions come first or thoughts come first. You know, I mean, that's also a controversy. I mean, so thoughts lead to emotions, or emotion leads to thoughts.
No, CBT said that it is a triangle, triad. Triad is on behavior, feeling, and emotions, and you can change anywhere else. It is you can start from thought to behavior, thought to emotions. We can come with that. So when you change the
So
thought,
this triad was given by Beck?
yes, Aaron Beck,
Okay, thank
and
you,
which
sir.
was later established by Albert Ellis. Ellis given more inputs on that, and there are many people are there, not only these two. And they, for like Mayer and Salovey, they given introduced the term, and later there are many people who are added.
What last, sorry. Self-assertiveness is also part of emotional intelligence in that sense, sir?
Yes,
Assertiveness.
yes. Self-awareness and intelligence is also part of emotional intelligence.
So much, sir. Thank you for being patient.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shapna.
Salim sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. As you said, we have to cover with the strategies, all those things. Definitely, we'll have some other sessions. We will be focusing on strategies, how to handle, how to increase EQ, all those things. Thank you, sir.
Thank you both Suresh sir and Dr. Salim sir, both of you, for this wonderful session. And we have been getting a lot of positive feedbacks, and Jyoti sir also sent his feedback that it was a wonderful session. Participants, kindly send your queries and feedback to my webinar feedback@gmail.com. Before that, I take this opportunity to place my vote of thanks for both the speakers on behalf of the Department of Psychology, American College Madurai, MSSW Chennai, MS Chelamuthu Trust and Rehabilitation Center Chennai, Madurai, and also Schizophrenia Research Foundation staff Chennai, and also Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey. I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude for both the speakers as well as to all the participants who have been traveling with us this long. And we will meet tomorrow with yet another wonderful session. Thank you. Good night.